everybody, happy Thursday. And since it's Thursday, I'm on Twitter. And so if you've asked your questions using the hashtag KatieFAQ, I found a bunch of them and I've already been chatting with many of you online. But I actually have 4 questions today, so we're gonna have to get cracking because I tend to talk a lot and then it ends up being a long video and then I'm worried that it's too long and then people won't watch it, and I wanna make sure that I'm doing it justice. Okay, and I have a journal topic, so stay tuned for that. Okay, first question. Yesterday in session, my therapist told me that she thinks I need to do IOP or a partial program. IOP is when you do an intensive outpatient, they call it, where you're in an inpatient kind of scenario for maybe 3 days a week or 5 days a week for portions of your day. And PHP is when you're in it like full time. I only see her once a week and I don't see the need. Is this normal to not feel like you need what others see? Am I just blind to my anxiety and depression? Now, I get a lot of questions like this, like, do I really need inpatient? Can I recover without this? Can I do this without? How come they think I'm worse than I think I am? We can get so used to feeling sick, to being depressed, to being anxious, to struggling with our eating disorder, to struggle with self-harm. If I hear one more client tell me, but it's not getting worse, I'm like, yes, it is. I'm watching it. You want to read my notes? I see it getting worse. We often get so used to feeling like shit that we don't even realize, or we don't even recognize is a better word. Like, we don't even recognize how good it maybe used to be or how good it could be. We're stuck in our dark haze and we can't see out. And that's why we have professionals, so that they can notice and they can make sure we're getting the help that we need when we need it. So it's very normal to not feel like you need it, but trust in the professionals, trust in your treatment team to make decisions that'll be best overall for you in the end. Okay? Question number 2. Hey, Katie, I was wondering, today my therapist told me that we might look at putting me on medication for my depression. I think it's because I haven't been working hard enough on working through my negative thoughts and self-hate issues. How can I show her that I don't need meds? Now, the next question is very similar to this, and that's why I wanted to answer them both. So we can't, first of all, if this is your therapist, she shouldn't be talking about medication. Be like, I see a doctor for that. I get really annoyed. We didn't go to medical school. I didn't go to medical school, so therefore I can't recommend medication. I can't tell you take it, stop it, change it, whatever. You need to consult your psychiatrist or your primary care doctor, or anybody that's a medical doctor who can prescribe medication, because they know best. Make an appointment. See them today. Showing people that we don't need meds isn't something we can do. They're going to know that you're struggling. They know what's going on. And that's honestly why she's telling you that maybe that's something that we need to consider, because like you said, you're not working hard enough getting through your negative thoughts and self-hate issues. And the thing that people forget, and people get all caught up in like, well, I don't want to be on medication, and pharmaceutical companies force people, they've created these things and blah, blah. That's a bunch of bullshit. The truth is that if we can't work on anything harder, it's so difficult sometimes to even start working in therapy. Medication can get us to the point where we can actually do the hard work. I think I've said this many times, but it's really important to hear, is that medication is pivotal sometimes because we're so deep in our depression, our eating disorder, whatever it is, our anxiety is so palpable that we can't even see out of it to even work on anything. And so in order to get to a place in our life where we're able to take the homework that a therapist gives us, process it, think about it, write it down, and bring it back, and to participate and to work hard and do all the things that are really shitty and why therapy is so hard and why everyone in it is so courageous, sometimes we need medication to get us there. Now, am I a huge advocate for medication in general? Not really, but sometimes it's needed for a short term, a short period of time, which pulls me into question number 3, which says, well, I need antidepressants for the rest of my life. I need them, but I hate taking pills. A lot of us feel that way. I am not a medication taker myself, so I totally get it. No, you don't have to be on medication for the rest of your life. The hope is, for me, for all of my clients, whenever I'm working with someone who is on medication, the hope is that in our time together, they'll work hard enough, and I will work hard enough with them. We'll process through all that itty-gritty, nitty shit that's happened, and we feel really bad, and all the stuff we're struggling with, and we'll get to a point where we can see out of it, and we maybe don't need the medication anymore. And oftentimes psychiatrists and doctors that I work with will trust my judgment that things are going better, and they'll start titrating the medication down. Never quit your medication without talking to your doctor. There are withdrawal symptoms and backlashes we can feel because we quit it early. And so please talk to someone, because I don't want any of you to have any bad scenarios like that. But you don't have to be on it for the rest of your life. This is something that I honestly usually tell my clients, this is a temporary thing. We're doing it to help you get out of the house in the morning and get to work so that you can come to see me later and we can work on stuff. That's what medication is for. Sometimes it's a catalyst to all of the work and the recovery that we're working towards. Does that make sense? It can just like give us that little so that we can get out of the house and we can actually accomplish the things that we're trying so hard to accomplish that just feel like we just can't even know where to start. Helps us start. Okay? Question number 4. Hey, Katie, my mom, I always like it, and then I envision the whole question in a British accent. So, my mom has been on diets my whole life and hasn't lost weight for long periods of time. How can I help her when my eating disorder makes her ignore me? She becomes tearful and angry about her body, yet won't accept help. Her diets are so triggering, and I can't force her to stop. Now, I want to talk about this because I hear this from a lot of people, and I have had a lot of clients who have issues with this too. Oftentimes, we will end up struggling with eating disorder because someone in our family, like our mother or sister or someone, we know there's genetic components, but this is also behavioral. We're watching someone talk terrible to their body. If any of you are mothers or fathers out there, notice how you talk about yourself in front of your children. It's very powerful. We don't recognize how all the negativity that we give ourselves is going to be shown and almost sucked up in a way with our children. They're going to think that that's how you talk about your body. That's how you feel about your body. And we want to teach and show and demonstrate in our life what it's like to love on ourselves and be helpful with our bodies, take care of our bodies, and appreciate it for all it does. So that's my spiel on that. Sorry, I got off track. But to help a parent who has been dieting forever and ever. A lot of people are in that like yo-yo diet. They try, I'm not going to eat any of this thing for months, or I'm not going to eat any of this, or I'm no junk food, only salads or something. You're like, bleh, nobody likes salads. But so I honestly would prepare a statement that you want to say to your mom and focus it on your issues and your struggles, because we all know we can't change how other people react or what they say or do in their life. We can only control what we say and do. So I would put together something that feels honest and true to you and yourself and your recovery. Maybe it's something like, Mom, I've been struggling with the eating disorder, and the fact that you're dieting all the time and talking so terribly about your body makes it really hard for me. And so I would just ask if you could just be a little more aware. And when I'm around, maybe keep the negative self-talk to a minimum. It'd be really helpful for me, or something, something like that. Because if someone won't accept our help, if someone doesn't really want our help and we're struggling too, that's not something we can change. We can only change what we say to them, what we do. And maybe at the end of that discussion with her, when you say that would really help me out, you can say, I'm always here if you want to talk about it. And that's really all we can do. We can just be there. We can just be honest. But we need to let them know what's harming us and what's hurtful to us, because they may not even realize it. And then, we're getting frustrated. We can get angry and we can yell at them for another reason, when the real reason is that they're triggering all the time. It's really hard for you to eat around them, for you to, be working on your recovery. So I would have an honest conversation with them so that you can work together and that, you don't feel triggered at home, because it is your mom, and we want to make sure that, she knows what's going on. Okay? Now, journal topic. And this occurred to me yesterday, because yesterday I was just pooped to the max. So tired, not engaged. Luckily, it was like I didn't have a busy day. So I took some time to myself. I took some downtime. And I would encourage all of you to start noticing this. This is my challenge. Notice when your body tells you that, or your mind. Honestly, mine's mostly my brain. It's like, Powering down now. Cannot think anymore. And I want you to recognize when that happens, and I want you to give it the reprieve that it needs. Our brain is telling us it needs a break. It needs, you know, maybe we need to just get out of the office for a minute. We need to see the light of day. Maybe I need to get off my computer because screens can be really taxing on our eyes. You know, there's a lot of things our body will tell us. If our legs are tired, we probably shouldn't go to the gym. If we're feeling really lethargic, we should probably give our body a rest. You know, give yourself the break that your body needs when it tells you to. And I made some other notes here. Yeah, to shut your brain off. You know, tell those voices filled with to-do lists and deadlines, you know, shut it down. Tell it to shut up. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Make your lists for tomorrow and don't do anything today. And then find things that feel good to you. Maybe it's just going for a walk. Maybe it's going to get tea or coffee. Maybe it's catching up with a friend. Maybe it's zoning out and watching really bad television, because that's what we can do. And that's awesome sometimes. And our brain just needs to like shut down. So take some time for yourself. I encourage each of you this tonight or whenever you're watching this, if it's tomorrow, I don't even care. Take some time for yourself. Notice when your body needs a little extra love and support, and give it that love and support. We'd give it to someone else. Why wouldn't we give it to ourselves? So that's my challenge. Do it. Okay? I love you all. Tomorrow is finally Friday. So I'll see you on Facebook. Ask your questions there using the hashtag KatieFAQ. Bye!